told to advise the director on the concentrates optimal safety stock. The concentrates optimal safety stock. So what are we given? What are we given? We are told that Ndio Poultry Farm located in Mitiana district deals majorly in egg production. NPF imports concentrate from Kenya, which is one of the major feeds input. COVID-19 disrupted the importation pattern of the concentrate, causing stock out losses. Okay, we are told that the concentrate's economic order quantity, is at 10 tons per month. It is at 10 tons per month. Then we are also told that the monthly stock out costs, the monthly stock out costs and holding costs is shillings 140 per kg and at 30 shillings 30 per kg respectively. Okay, so we have the stock out cost and the holding cost per kg. Below is the NPF's usage of concentrate for the last 20 months. So we have the monthly usage in kgs. Then we have the number of months. All right, we are told that the director NPF planned to produce this concentrate starting with the year ending 30th June 2023 to control the stock out losses. The preliminary research has indicated that there are good and bad economic environments associated with every year. Now, from this paragraph going forward, it is to just help you. It is just to help you to answer Roman 2 about decision analysis. So this is not my focus for this time. I believe you know how to come up with a decision tree. So my focus is on only part A, Roman 1. And to answer part A, Roman 1, this is what we are going to do. Last time I defined all those things. I defined what is optimal stock, so what is optimal safety stock? I defined all those things. From what we are given, you observe that we don't have, first of all, we don't have the expected usage. We don't have the expected usage. That is number one. We don't have as well, we don't have the probabilities. We don't have the probabilities in this question. But you can get all this. You can get all this. For you to answer a question about the optimal level of safety stock, you must be dealing with probabilities somewhere. You must be having expected usage. Okay? So how can I get my expected usage? How can I get, because if you have the expected usage, it will help you to know the starting point. So for me, to get, first of all, to get the probabilities, I am going to rely on the information given. I'm going to rely on the information given. So I am going to make I design my table like this. Here I am going to put what we have. This is monthly usage, in kgs. Then we have the number of. Are you in a position to see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Then we have the probabilities. I can create a column for probabilities. For probabilities, then we have the expected usage, the expected usage. So that should be my starting point. The kgs, the monthly usage, we have this information. So copy and paste these ones. Copy and paste. So here we can put here, this is 8,000, this is 8,000, this is 9,500, then this is 10,000, then this is what? This is 10,500. Then next it is 11,000. Then the last one is 12,000. Okay. So that's what we have. And we have the probability, rather we have the number of months. We have 2, we have also 2 here, 6, then 4, 2, and 4. All right. This is what we have. So how can I get the probability? For me to get the probability, I can rely on this column. I get the total. I can get the total. I can get the total. Here I put the totals. So when you add here, what do you get? When you add this, then the total number of months are 20. Because even the examiner had told us this is 2, 4, 10, 14, 16, that is 20. So that is the total. So to get my probability, I am going to get 2 out of 20. What do I get here? That is 0.1. Then for me to get the next is still 2 out of 20, which is 0.1. Then here it is 6 out of the total, which is what? Which is 0.3. Then here it is 4 out of what? 20, which is 0. That is 0. What? 0.2? 0.2. Then the next 2 out of 20, you get 0.1. Then here 4 out of 20, you get what? 0.2. When you add, of course, the total probability should give you 1. The total probability should give you 1. So that's how we get the probability. That's how we get the probability. Now, how do I get the expected usage? The expected usage in pages. The expected usage, I get the monthly usage times the probability. I get the 8,000. Kindly try to do that. 8,000 times 0.1. That is what? That is 800. Then next 95 times 0.1.
950.
Is 950. Then next
3,000.
3,000. Then next
2,100.
Here it is 2,100.
Yes.
Then here it is
1,100.
2,400. What about here? It is 1,100. When you add, The total expected usage is what? When you add the total expected usage is what? 800 plus 950 plus 3,000 plus what? 2100, then plus 1,100, then plus 2,400. Do you have
10,000.
10,350?
350, yes.
So that is our expected. The moment you know your expected usage, the moment you know your expected usage, then it becomes easier for you to do other things. Now, depending on how you want to approach it, some people do the working. Now you may create here. You may create another table. You may create another table. So this is what we have. So come to this column, choose our starting point. What can be our starting point? Okay. So you have I think where do you find this figure? Where do you find this figure? It is in between what and what? It is in between 10,000 and what? 10,500. Isn't it, guys?
Yes.
It is in between here. It is in between here. So since it is in between those values, we are going to start with, we are not going to start with 10,000. We are going to start with this figure. And we say, now leave the space, go to the next page, and do all these workings. Do these workings. I would have done everything within the table, but it is also, you can do the working. We are going to say at our starting point, 10,350 kgs. At our starting point, what will be our holding? What will be our holding costs? What will be our holding costs? What will be our holding costs? And for you to get holding costs, you get the number of kgs times the holding cost per kg. First of all, the units, it is holding costs for the safety what? For the safety stock. For the safety stock. Holding costs for the what? For the safety stock. So what is your safety stock? First of all, as I get my holding costs, the units I have, the safety stock, you can call this one safety what? A safety stock. Or the units, the kgs. How many? You get, of course, the starting point is 10,350 minus 10,350. Here we don't have, you don't need the, so this one gives you 0. Then the holding costs, will be 0 times, from the question, what was the holding cost per kg? But can you hear me?
Yes.
From the question, the holding cost per kg, it was shillings 30. It was shillings 30. Then the stock out cost per kg, it was shillings 140. So let's first deal with the holding cost. So here we multiply by shillings 30. So still you get what? You get 0. It means that at our starting point here, 10,000 at 10,350. What is the holding costs? It is 0. Then what is the stock out? So we look for this stock out. And how do you get the stock out? The stock out to costs. How do I get this stock out costs? The stock out costs will be what? Now, for me to get the stock out costs, remember stock out. You always look at the next. Stock out costs. Always look at the next. Always look at the next. Okay? Always look at what? At the next. Now, if I'm to look at the next, what is the next cage? What is the next tip? I need how many cages in the next period? I need when you look at this, we had started with what? We had started with just for purposes of illustration. We had started with what? 10,000. So what is the next? If you are to look at the next, what is the next? The next is what? The next quantity we need is 10,500. 10,500. That is the next. That is the next quantity we need. So at 10,500 kgs, since you need that, what will be your stock out? The stock out in units. The stock out. The stock out in units. The stock out in kgs. The stock out in kgs will be equal to, you will need 10,500, but remove what you have, 10,350. Here you get how many kgs? That is 150 kg. 150 kgs. Then what is the stock out costs? The stock out costs. The stock out costs will be, so you get 150. That is the stock out kg, the stock out, the units times the stock out cost per kg, then times the probability. What is the probability at this point? What is the probability? What was our probability at 10,500?
0.2.
0.2. So multiply by that probability 0.2.
4,200.
You get what?
4,200.
4,200. I think that's what I had, but it was wrong. Okay, that's what you have as your stock out. Then next okay, next at that, here we multiply by the probability. What is the probability? What is the probability at 11,000 at 11,000 at 11,000?
0.1.
0.1. Then you get what? That is 991. You can try to confirm.
9,100. Yes.
9,100. Okay, then next at what? At the last one is at 12,000 kgs. What is our stock out in terms of kgs? This will be what? This will be 11, sorry, 12,000 minus 10,350. What do you get?
1,650.
You
1,000.
get what?
1,650.
650. These are kgs. These are kgs. Then next, you look for the stock out costs now. You look for the stock out costs. So the stock out costs, the stock out costs will be what? Will be 1,650 times 140. That is stock out cost per kg. What was the probability here? What was the probability at 12,000?
0.2. 0.2. 0.2. Hello?
Yes. 0. What? 0.2, eh?
Yes.
0.2. So what do you get?
I'm having 46,200.
So finally, what is the total stock? The total stock out to as total stock out costs. It will be what? Now add the costs. Add the costs that you had. Stock out costs. The first one is this. Get this one. Get this one. Then add this one. Then plus this. What do you get as your total?
$59,500.
You get 50. You get 59,500. So that is your stock out to costs. So you put your stock out costs here. 59,500. So the total costs you add 59,500. That is your total costs. Then after this, you go to the next, because now you're done with the first one. So you also look at this. Now you're done with this one. So what about at 10,500? What about at 10,500? What is this at 10,000? What about at 10,500? What do you get at 10,500? What do you get as your holding cost? So you repeat the procedure. You repeat the procedure. You repeat the procedure, but what we are going to do, I can do these things within the table, because there will be wasting time when we go back at the other thing. Me, I have shown you the approach, the first approach. Let me show you the second approach. Now, are you seeing, of course, here we would have 10,000, 10,000, 10,500. We also look at this. We also look at this. That's what we need. Okay, so at this point here, what is our holding cost? If I don't want to go back to use this approach, 10,500, but we expect to use what? What is the total expected usage? The total expected usage is 10,300. I first get the safety stock by getting the 10,500 minus the expected usage, that is 10,300. Then the answer you get, I multiply by what is the holding cost? What is the holding cost per kg?
Excuse me, Abel.
Pardon?
Excuse me.
Mm.
On the initial table, which we are having, my expected usage is 2,100.
Pardon?
Yeah, this one.
You look
You
at
don't look here.
this. You look at this. You don't look at this one. No, you look at the overall. You look at the overall. The overall. Don't use this one.
Okay.
The expected usage will be constant throughout. This one will be constant. This one will be constant throughout. Because that is what is expected. This is what is expected. Okay, so what you do within the table as you look for the safety stock, you get this one is what we have already from our computation. Now times what is holding cost per kg? From the question it was what? Holding cost per kg was what?
140.
That is stock out cost.
Oh, it is
140 is stock out cost. It is 30.
30. Okay.
Here we multiply by 30. So what do you get in terms of shillings?
Now it's 6,000.
Pardon?
6,000.
You have 6,000. Perfect. So that is your holding. That is your holding cost. That is your holding. That is your holding costs. That is your holding costs. Then how can we get our stock out to costs? Now I want you see, I don't want to again use this approach. This one of first writing this, you may waste time. Now to get the holding costs, rather the stock out costs, as I said, you always look at the what? At the next, isn't it? Always look at the next. So if you are to get the next, if you are to look at the next one, if I'm here, what is first of all the starting point? What will be the next? The next I need 11,000, but minus what? 11,000 minus what? At that point, you're dealing with minus 10,500. Because we are at this point. Okay? So the stock out, you are likely not to have, in the next period, you are likely not to have some stock. That is stock out. Because stock out will be looking at the next. Do you have enough stock for the next period? But we see that you may not have enough stock. You are highly likely to run out of stock by the difference. That's what we mean. So times what is the stock out package? That was 140. Then times the probability. What is the probability what was the probability at 11? What was the probability at 11?
0.1.
At 11
0.1.
is 0.1. 0.1. So what do you get as your cost? Let me hope you are not writing in your books here. What do you get?
I'm having 7,000.
7,000. Then you go to the next. The next one is what? The next, you're done with this. You're done with this. So the next is 12,000. 12,000 minus still the 10 minus the 10,500. Then times the stock out times the probability. What is the probability at 12,000?
The probability is 0.2.
So here you multiply by 0.2. What do you get?
I'm having 42,000.
You have 42,000. 42,000. Perfect. You have 42,000. So what is the total? The total. What is the total? The total is 7,000. 7,000 plus what? Plus 42,000. What do you get? Because you are done
49.
with all, you get 50 what?
49,000.
You get 49,000. Let me hope you're giving me the right thing. Okay? You get
Yes.
49,000. So when you add, what do you get?
Add what and what?
We need the total costs. You get this 6,000, the holding cost plus the stock out.
I'm having 55,000.
55,000. Okay, any question so far? Any question?
One?
Any question?
Yes. Why are you combining this 12,000? I thought 12,000 will come to another.
Why am I bringing? Why am I?
I thought.
Why am I bringing this one?
Yes, in just one table like this, one column.
Aren't we always look at the next? You see, like how we calculated the first one, how we calculated this. How we calculated this. Do you recall how we calculated this? We had to look at all the nexts. So we started with 10,500 as our first one, because we had started with what? We had started with this one. So when you are dealing with this, let's say here, if you want to do it within the table, you get the next one is 11,000. No, the next one is 10,500 minus what? The 10,350. Then times the 140. What is the probability at 10,500? It was what? It was what? At 10,500. At 10,000, it was 0. What? 0
2.
0.2. So we did this 0.2, and we had the answer. Then we also had to look at the next, because now this was your starting point. You have looked at this. Go to the next, which is 11. So 11,000 minus 10,350 times the probability, which is what? 0.1. Times the stock out cost, which is 140, times what? Times 0.1. You get the answer. So go to the next. You see how we do it? So with stock out,
Yes, I've got.
you keep looking at the next 12,000 like that. And I would prefer you do it within the table. You do within the table. You will not waste a lot of time. You will not waste a lot of time. So after getting this, you go ahead and get the total. So what is the total? The total stock out, the total stock out cost. You get the total. You simply add the figures. That's how you can do within. I prefer within the table, not using this approach. The other approach we had done. This, don't you see that this approach takes time? This one, using this approach takes time, this one. But if you do within the table, it becomes really very easy. So next, when we are dealing with this, when we are at 11, when we are to use 11,000, okay, at this point, what is holding cost? What is your safety stock first of all? The safety stock is 11,000. Pay attention how we get to this holding cost. You get that what you expect to here, what you want to use in that month. Here. Then minus what was our expected, the total expected usage. The total expected usage is 10,300. The one we computed, the total one, the total. Then times the 30. Times the 30. What do you get? 30 is the holding cost per kg. What do you get there? The figure we are
10,350.
copying the wrong figure. Are you seeing this? This one is wrong. Here it is 5. Here it is 5. Don't you see we are using the wrong figure? This is the right figure. This is the right expected usage. The
After
10,
changing.
the
This one,
10,000 minus the 10,350, then times the 30. Here it was wrong. Here it was 4,500.
100.
Then plus the 49,000. So you get 5,300. 5,500. Then here you get what? 11 minus 10,500 or 350. Then times what? 30, which is, I was wondering, because here I have a different figure. Let me hope now we are at par. Let me hope now we are at par. Any question?
No?
Okay, so then let's get the stock out costs. Let's get the stock out to the stock out costs. The stock out costs, always look at the next. Always look at the next. So we have the next one is only what? Is only the 12,000. So you get the 12,000 minus 11,000 minus 11,000. Then times what is the stock out to cost? It is 140. Then times what is the probability at 12,000? The probability is 0. What? 0.
0.2.
So what do you get?
$28,000.
You get 28,000. So I think that is the only one that is next. That is the only thing that we have as our next. So simply add. So it means that the total stock out costs here is 28,000. So add the get 28,000 plus this. What do you get?
47,500.
47,500. Then lastly, what is our holding costs here? Holding costs, you get the 12,000 minus the total expected usage, which is 10,350. Then times the holding cost per kg, which is 30. What do you get? But do you know the reason why we multiply the probability here and why we don't multiply the probability here? The reason why we multiply the probability is that you are looking at the next. What is the probability that you are highly likely to run out of the stock? The probability that you are highly likely to run out of stock. Because you're not yet in that period. You're not yet in that period. We are looking at the next. So because we are looking at the next, we rely on the probability. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have already run out of stock. No. Just that we are relying on the probability. What is the probability that you are highly likely to run out of stock? That's why we multiply by the probability. But when it comes to holding costs, you are at that point, as at that point, as at that period. What is your safety stock? The one you have. You expect to use, the total expected usage is this one. But you see that the total expected usage is 10,350. But you see that in your period, you have 10,500. So in that very period, you have the safety stock. So you are not looking at the next, you are looking at as at that date. There is nothing like the probability. It is the stock that you are having as the safety stock. So there you don't multiply by the probability. Okay. So what do you get?
49,500.
49,500. That's what you have. Okay. Then here, of course, here the stock outs, don't you see it is 0?
Yes, it is 0.
It is 0 because you don't have the next. So the total is 49,500. So we are done. I prefer you do it within the table to avoid wasting time. If you don't do these things within the table, you are going to spend a lot of time from my experience. Remember, you are working for only how many marks? You are looking for only like 5 to 7. So for you, if you use this approach, you are going to really spend a lot of time. This approach, you are going to spend a lot of time. The table makes everything to be somehow easy. Okay. Now, after coming up with this, the question is now, what is your reorder? What is your, if they ask you the reorder, of course here, as you determine the optimal safety stock, you need the reorder level, Then you from the order level, you will need the optimal. You need the optimal safety stock. So what is, remember the optimal safety stock is reorder level minus expected usage. Reorder level minus expected usage. Okay. Now, what is our reorder level? The reorder level, you're going to look at the total costs. Which one gives you the lower cost? Which level gives you the lower cost?
The one of 47.
The one of 47. This one is where we have the lower cost. So which level is that? So it means that our reorder level is 11,000 kgs. The one that gives us the lower cost. Reorder level. We defined all those things, but I don't want to keep on going back, but we defined what is reorder level. I believe there is somewhere I will define those things. Reorder point. Know when to order before everything is finished. So our order level is that one, the level that gives us the lowest cost. Okay, so the moment I have my reorder level, I can get the optimal safety stock. The optimal safety stock will be 11,000. Minus the expected usage, the total expected usage, which is 10,350. And what do you get?
Six hundred 650.
You get 650 kgs. And you're done. That is your number. You're done. You can ask what is the probability? What is the probability? What is the probability? What is the probability? What is the probability of running out of stock? They can ask you that. And the probability of running out of stock is the probability. This will be the probability. This will be the probability. This will be the probability, the total probability after this. The total probability after this. After your order level. What is the total probability after the order level? After the order level. Remember, this is our order level, isn't it, guys? This is our order level. So what is the total probability after the order level? The only total probability is after the order level. This is our order level. And the next, we only have the 12. So the probability will be only what? 0.2 as 0.2. If you had another figure, you add 0.2 plus the next probability. But here, if I told you your order level was, let's say here, 10,500, to get the total probability of running out of stock, you get 0.1 plus 0.2. So here the total probability of running out of stock is only 0.2. So that is about this question. So when you look at your August 2023, when you look at your August, you'll try that one. I'm not going to do it. You'll try it out, but with that August 2020, was it 2023? Was it 2023? When you look at that,
Mhm.
it was 2023. When you look at that question, let me hope you're seeing my screen. Are you seeing my screen? Question 5.
Yes.
So when you're trying out that number, you were given, you are working for what? 7 marks. You use the table, please. You're looking for the optimal what? Optimal safety stock. At the same way, order level minus total expected usage. Now here you are just to read through and of course here what you have are here you are given the probabilities direct, isn't it? So here there was no hassle. So you just simply get those probabilities times the sales demand, so that you can come up with the total, expected. You can come up with the total expected usage. Total expected usage. There are scenarios where you will be given the reorder. In a scenarios where you're given the reorder level point, in a scenario where you're given the reorder point in the question, because examiner has not yet tested students on this, he has been giving this without reorder level, Now, in a scenario where examiner has given you reorder point, please, we rely on reorder point as we get the holding cost. As we get the holding cost, we rely on the reorder level. We rely on the reorder point. They can say that the reorder point is, let's say, 22,000 in the question. So if they say the reorder point is 22,000, don't rely on this total. Don't rely on this total. Examiner has not yet tested that. Don't rely on that. But I saw it somewhere. Don't rely on this. If you're given the reorder point, please don't rely on this. As you get your holding costs for the safety stock, simply get the figure you have here minus that reorder point, 10 times the holding costs. Let me hope I have clarified on that. Then, but for this question, for your August 2023, you're going to approach it the same way. You will need the total expected sales demand, which you'll be relying on. Okay, I believe other things are easy to record. So it means that if you're given the reorder point, you don't need to get the probabilities times the sales demand. You'll be wasting time. Time. Okay. I think I'm done. I believe you will answer this the August. Just what was very, very key is to rely on this table and get the optimal safety stock. So create the column. The column with your sales demand, the stock out costs, the holding costs for the safety stock, and the total cost. Okay. The optimal or the optimal order point will always be that point that gives you the lowest cost. Okay, I think I'm done with this. I'm done with this. I wanted we do another number that has discounts. Because I think last time we didn't discuss one with discounts. Oh, we discussed. Oh, we discussed one with this, but I don't think. Actually, it looks like you had a question. Please ask. You had a question? So let's check here.
Maybe what I can ask, is there any scenario where this figure which you computed, the expected value, to be different for each column or for each row?
You mean this one?
Yes.
Is there a scenario where, where it
Is there
can
any
be
different, like you say, or at 10,500 you use the different one, at 11,000 use a different one, at 12,000 we are using a different figure?
that one will be constant throughout?
Okay, noted.
That one will be, this is like, now look at this one as your order point. This is like your order point. This is like your order point. Because sometimes examiner can give you that in an exam. If you are given the order point direct in an exam, don't again compute this. Don't again waste time. Rely on what examiner has given you to determine the holding what? To determine the holding cost. Holding cost, you simply get, if you are to this point, what is the holding cost? Okay. Okay. But he can give you the order point and ask you for the optimal order point level. Reorder point, the optimal order point, or the optimal order level. The optimal order level is that level or that point that gives you the lowest cost, the lowest total costs. The one that gives you the lowest total costs. And I have explained what is the probability of running out of stock. The probability of running out of stock, you always look at the next, after knowing that this is your optimal level, optimal order level. What are those, what is the probability, what are the probabilities after your order level? You add those probabilities. You add those probabilities after your order level to get the total probability of running out of stock. Perfect. So let's see, use the remaining few minutes and we discuss September 2022. September 2022. It's a common question, a common area, inventory management. So if you can master, this was question 2B. I want to look at only part B, 5 marks. That involves inventory management. So with this question, we are given are you seeing this part? this part, we are told that the Brazilian supplier sells wigs commonly demanded by fashionista customers at shillings, this one each. But there is a discount offer of 0.1% for an order of 750 wigs and above. The LBP normally uses 500 wigs in a month. The cost of storing a wig and making an order is shillings 50 and 1,500 respectively. You have only that. You have only that to answer part B. 5 marks. Can you clear those 5 marks? Hmm?
I think I can. I tried.
You had already tried.
Yes, I'm having an idea. If I find it in the paper, don't think I can miss.
But this one, you first look at before the what? Before the discount. I don't know whether that's the idea you have. Because here, when you're looking at this question with a discount, and you're trying to advise whether these guys should make an order, you need to look at before the discount and after the discounts. Then you see whether they are going to make some save. So before the discount, this is September 2022. September 2022, question 2B. Question 2B. So before the discount, you want to know the total. You want to know the total costs before the discount. So here you're going to look at what is your economy from the information given. What is the cost of what is the order cost? What is the order cost? From the question given, from this question, these are marks you should clear. The cost of storing, that is the holding, and the cost of making an order is this one. The cost of making an order is 1,500. Remember, CO is the cost per order. The cost per order, 1,500. This is 1,500. This is per order. Always know that it should be per order. Then next, you have CH. What is your CH? The holding cost per unit. The holding cost per unit is how much from the question? The holding cost per unit from the question. The holding cost per unit from the question is the cost of storing a wig is the holding cost, which is 50. This is 50. This is 50. This is shillings 50. This is 50 per wig. Okay. Then do you have demand? Do you have demand in this question? Do you have the annual demand in this question? D is always the annual demand. But what you have is what? These guys normally okay, before the discount, initially we are told that the Brazilian supplier sells wigs commonly demanded by fashionista customers at this money, but there is a discount offer of 0.1% for an order of 750 wigs and above. So before the discount, we are seeing that LBP normally uses 500 wigs in a what? Are you seeing this? In a month. In a month. So here it means that as you determine your D, you get that 500. That 500, because it is per month, you multiply by what? By 12. D must be annual. It must be annual. Here, what do you get? This is 6,000. Remember this question, the moment you fail to get to, the moment you get wrong D or you use wrong D, everything will be wrong. Okay, then next, what else do you need? I think this is all you need to get your economic order quantity. The reason why I need this economic order quantity, because I need to get the total ordering cost. I need to get the total holding costs. So what is our formula? What is our formula for economic order quantity? Do you recall the formula? This is our formula, eh? This is our formula. I believe you all can recall. These things can be asked in financial management. Eh? These things can be asked in financial management. It's not only in MDC. You can meet them in financial management as well. This topic. So substitute, where you have D. So it is 2 times D, which is, our D is 6,000. Then times what is CO? The ordering cost. We have seen that the ordering cost is how much? The ordering cost per order. The cost per order is 1,000. Then the CH is 50. On your calculator, put everything. Put square root. Or first get open bracket, this one time, this one time, this one, close bracket, over 50. Equal sign, take square root, click answer. What do you get? Someone tell me. Someone tell me.
I'm having 6,600.
600 wigs. These are wigs. Remember, economic order quantity must be in the same unit with the holding, with the units you are holding, with the measure. Eh? What you're holding is measured in terms of what? Okay, so that is your economic order quantity. Now, as you determine whether to make an order, as you determine whether to make an order, as you determine whether to make an order of this, you need to compare the total costs before the discount, and also compare the total cost before the discount with the total cost after the discount. If you see that you're saving, then you go ahead and order. So what are those total costs we are talking about here? The total costs, you will need the purchase cost. You need the purchase cost. How much are you going to incur? Okay, before the discount, each wig was at how much? Before the discount, each wig was at how much? Are you seeing this? The Brazilian supplier sales wig is commonly demanded by what? Fashionista customers at this. So before the discount, you have this money. 1,200. 1,000. This is 125,000 each. But before the discount, you had how many? The D, what was the demand? The demand was 6,000. So the total is how much?
750 million.
750 million. I always like the table. I always like the table. These things sometimes we waste time. Let me put these things in a table format. Here, here I am going to put my costs. I put my costs. I start with the purchase cost. This is before the discount. Before the discount. Then I put here after the discount. After the discount, then I put the savings. The savings, another column. Another column for the savings after. Sorry. I can always see. You see, in an exam, you always try to see how you can manage the savings or loss after the discount. After the discount. So the purchase cost, the purchase cost I have already for this. I have before the discount, the purchase cost is how much? 750, isn't it? 750 million. Then I also need to look at the ordering costs. Then I also look at the holding costs. Ordering costs. Ordering costs. How do you get the ordering costs? Do you recall how we get the ordering costs? Do you recall the formula?
Yes.
Ordering costs. Let me just try to copy for purposes of not wasting time. Okay, you can just tell me.
Is equal to demand divided by economic order quantity times the ordering cost per unit.
You get the demand divided by economic order quantity, then times the cost per order, isn't it?
Yes.
Cost per order. Cost per order. So we have everything. We have everything. Just substitute. What is our demand? It is 6,000 divided by 600. Was it 600? Then times cost per order, how much?
Cost per order is 1,500.
1,500. So when you multiply, what do you get? When you on your calculator, what do you get?
I'm having 15,000.
Only?
Yes.
15,000. Then what about the holding cost? The holding costs, what is the formula? Economic order quantity over what?
Over 2 times the holding cost. The holding cost.
The holding cost. The holding cost per unit. Okay, so we substitute economic order quantity is 600 divided by 2, then times what? Times CH was what?
CH was 50 shillings per unit.
50 shillings. So what do you get?
I'm having
That is also 15?
Yes.
Okay, so we can put these things here. Here. So it means that here you have the 15. You have the 15,000. Also here you have the 15,000. Here you can put in million. What about after the discount? Because, okay, what is the total costs here? The total the total costs before the discount. How much are you spending? If you add the, what do you get? Isn't it 750 million? 750 million is 30,000. I believe
Yes.
that's what you get. Okay. So from there you look at it after the discount. After the discount, what is your purchase? What is your purchase cost? After the discount, what will be your purchase cost? Purchase cost. Because initially, I don't need to waste time. You see, initially you were spending this money, isn't it? Eh? This is initially. But now you're getting what? You're getting the discount. And the discount is of how much? The purchase cost is going to reduce. But there is a discount offer of what? 1.1%. So if you make an order of 750 wigs and above, so what comes into your mind? What comes into your mind? It means that if I make an order of 750 wigs, my purchase costs are going to reduce by what? By 0.1%. By 0.1%. And it will become what? It will become how much? Initially, if I was incurring 750 and they are giving me the discount, it means that if I get 100 minus that percentage, I get what? Isn't it 99.9%? I can get the purchase cost direct. Or you get this figure minus the total discount. The total discount is 0.1 times this. Okay, here how much do you get? This is shillings 749 250. Try to confirm.
Yes.
Okay, so that is your do you think that, of course, also the ordering costs are going to change? The ordering costs are going to change because here the demand, okay, the quantity you are going to use, the quantity you're going to use here, where you have economic order quantity, you use what? You use 750. You use 750 because now that will be your order. And now here you use 750. So here it will be the demand. The demand, that one remains as 6,000 over the economic order quantity. Now economic order quantity will be 750. You guys, we always take because they said 750 and above, 750 and above. So next time they can say 750 if you are to make an order from between 750 and 800. So it's you to know that if I'm given something like this, then as I determine my ordering cost and holding cost, the economic order quantity, I take the lower one. I take the lower one. I don't take the upper one or the higher one. Please take note. I saw it also somewhere. Eh? I saw it also somewhere. They can give you in this range, 750 to 800. Let's say 850 to 900. Okay. So as you determine these things, you use the lower one. You use the lower one. You use the lower one. Okay. So here we multiply by what? Here we multiply by the holding cost. It was what? Sorry, the ordering cost per cost per order. It was 1,500. 1,500. And what do you get?
12,000.
You get the 12,000 shillings, 12,000. Then the holding costs will be what? The economic order quantity divided by 2, then times CH, the holding cost per unit. So it is here 750 over 2 times what? Times 50. What do you get? This is
18,750.
18,750.
50.
So finally, you can place these things in your table. I have this. For you, you may be adding. I have this here. Then here it was the 12,000. Then here it was the 18,750. The total. When you add, you are left with only 10 minutes. Try to be fast. When you add,
I'm having 749 million. 280,000. 750.
750.
Yes.
Like this. Okay.
Mm.
So that is your total. That is your total. That is your total. So the saving, do you have the saving? Are you making any gain if there is a discount? Are you saving anything? Total cost
Yes.
after the discount, compare. You see here you are incurring less compared to the before the discount. So the difference is of how much?
The difference is 749,000 to 250.
250. So that is the saving. But you see, technically here, you are saving. Yeah? Here you are saving. So you can even put here the differences of, you are saving the difference of how much? Is it 750? Then here, before you were incurring 15, now you're incurring 12. So here you have also the discount of 3. The ordering costs are going to reduce. But you see the holding costs, because now there is a discount, you're going to purchase more to qualify for the discount. It means that the holding costs are going to increase. You'll be having much stock, and that one can increase your holding costs. So here you will incur more. It's like a loss. It's like a loss. Here you are incurring more. So when you get this plus this minus this, I believe still you get this answer. Okay? So the conclusion, how do we conclude? How do we conclude? We are going to say that this company, what is the name of this company? What is the name of this company? Because they said we advise a draw. So we are going to say this one should go ahead. The comment, we should say that of 750 wigs since Since we will save, since we realize a total, since we will save total costs of worth shillings 250 due to the discount that he will get. So I think that's enough for that question. You guys, I believe now you are masters of this topic after these 2 sessions. Please, if you meet this, don't fail. I'm done with today's session. Any question? Any question before I close?
No question.
Okay, you read the theory about this topic.